Hey, this is Jamie from CapsuleComputers.com, and today we have a SteelSeries Siberia version 2. It's a limited edition in heat orange here to unbox and review for you, so let's get right into it. Upon opening the box, you'll see the SteelSeries Siberia version 2 headset. It's black with seems like some leatherette pads. Let's see how we get this open. You can see on the top of the box that this headset was produced with some of the biggest names in esports. You might recognize, well, at least definitely recognize Fnatic and Navi. Alright, let's get this box out of the way. Inside the box we have some pack-ins. It looks like we have a SteelSeries Siberia sticker. Yep, we got a sticker. Seems like this is some warnings about not having your speaker ear-blastingly loud, or else you're obviously going to go deaf. And we've got the quick start guide. Alright, on to the star of the show, the headset itself. It's a black headset with heat orange LED lighting. This one's being a little stubborn. Here we go. Alright, let's just pop this one out and throw this aside, because we won't need it. Alright, so first off, I can say this is a really light headset. This is definitely something you will not mind having on your head for extended periods of time. I've owned just for the sake of being open about it, I've owned the first generation SteelSeries Siberia, and I mean, it's been a long time since I've actually used it, but this is about as pretty close to how heavy I remember it to be. The suspension system is this over here. You'll see it in higher end headphones, and it's meant to be to just, I guess, not really have to, like pull these out or in just to get the right fit. You just slap it on your head, and the suspension system will fit perfectly first go. The ear cups seem pretty reasonably deep. You can see the orange padding. Yes, it is the heat orange edition. Let's see, it looks like it's an open headset. A closed headset would mean that there would be a piece of plastic to just cup all the sound and force it back in. Usually it'll mean you'll get better bass, but it does tend to close the sound stage a little. Feels like leatherette pads. They're pretty soft. And we have the microphone. You can just pull it in and out when you need it or you don't need it. And cabling. Okay, so it comes with an integrated USB sound card, and okay, so I'm guessing this would be your mute switch for your microphone and your volume switch. And then what do we have here? Okay, so in case you need a little extra cable space, we've got a extension cord. I would say at least it's probably good 5 or 6 feet. Anyways, here we go. That's the SteelSeries Siberia version 2 heat orange. It's a limited edition, so let's move on forward and get to the review. Hey, and we're back with the SteelSeries Siberia V2s. Just a slight correction from earlier in the video. I said that on first glance that they looked like open headsets, which was, as you can see, utterly and completely wrong. These are actually closed headsets. You can tell this by, if you see as the lights turn on underneath the grill, you can see that they're completely closed, so you can get this nice lighting effect. With my camera, it seems to be a little brighter orange, and it actually seems it's, as you can see, you probably can't see this, but it's actually a very nice pumpkin orange, almost like the orange you would see in I guess, like, no, I probably not actually a flame, but it's a very nice pumpkin orange. You'll just, if you can't see it on the video, you'll just have to take my word for it. Now, these headsets, not only is it really light, it's very comfortable to wear for long periods of time because of this suspension headset design. You'll find this design, it's called a self-adjusting headband. You'll see these designs in higher-end headphones. Sometimes you'll even in the $400, $500 range, and they are extremely comfortable to wear. Now, the one thing that I noticed with this one specifically was, as you can see, this headband kind of moves back and forth. Now, for me, it wasn't an issue, but when I started handing these off to friends and family and asking them, how do they feel? Are they comfortable for you? My long hair, people with long hair, especially a lot of the girls, would notice that they found that when they put their headphones on, they tend to kind of put it on like that, versus me with short hair who just plops it on my head like this. When they do it like this, usually they're trying to sweep the hair back away from their ears, and they found that when they put it on with that motion of head that they're used to, they found that because this kind of tilts forward when you push it like this would actually catch on their forehead, and it would end up looking some weird iteration of I guess like a forehead protector from Naruto or something like that. Pardon my moment of geekery. So you might, if you have long hair, you might want to consider pulling it back in a ponytail ahead of time, or you might have to just adjust how you put these on. It is a very minor thing, but those of us with short hair, you're not going to have to worry about it. Now, this is self-adjusting headbands also great for people with really strange head sizes, especially those, with regular headphones that kind of slide in and slide out to adjust. Maybe you're in between sizes or something. This is definitely a headphone you want to pick up because it is self-adjusting. Now, you've got this leather material here. It does get a little sweaty, but it doesn't get it to the point where it just feels disgusting like some fake leathers. As you can see, the ear cups are a little shallow, so if you do have ears that tend to kind of stick out away from your head, it might be a little uncomfortable, but personally, I didn't have any problem with that. There is some good airflow with these. Your ears won't feel like they've been in a sauna after wearing these for several hours in a row. Now, the sound quality was actually very good. A lot of times with headsets within the $150 range and below, especially ones tilted advertised for gamers, they tend to be very bass heavy, and the bass just overpowers the treble, the mids, the highs, everything. It's like a steamroller. And surprisingly, these were actually very balanced. The bass was a little on the strong side, but it was well balanced compared to the mids and the highs. Now, I did notice, I suspect this is something about with the sound card that is packaged right in here, but on really, really high notes while listening to music, you will hear a slight distortion. If you're not listening for it, you might not notice, but there is a very slight distortion on the really, really high notes. Now, most people are probably not going to encounter this. However, if you listen to a type of music that emphasizes very high notes, like classical music, this may not be the headset you want. The microphone, I'm going to provide a little audio demonstration near the end of this video just to let you guys see how it sounds. Now, it's advertised as an active noise-canceling microphone, and in my experience, it did an excellent job at that. It's clear, it's precise, it sounds great, it's at a good volume. And because this retracts, no matter how big your head is, you can always figure out something that will work with you. Now, the only problem is, for me, I found that fully extended and pushed out like this, it ended up in my mouth. Well, not in my mouth, but right in front of it, so you get that Darth Vader effect that you probably will annoy anyone who's been on ventrilo with somebody like that, where it's just, you can hear the breathing on the microphone because it's just, well, it's like Darth Vader. You kind of hear every single breath. But as long as you're aware of that, you can make sure that it's positioned away from your mouth. As you can see, this is incredibly bendable and stretchy. It could probably do a backflip if I really wanted it to. So you should have no problem. Just make sure you test it before you use it. One thing I didn't really like is the fact that this mute switch, it can be a little tough. As you can see, I'm having a little bit of a problem just switching it like this. However, if you put your full thumb or finger, you should have no problem. Now, if you can look carefully, it's this dark brown color, which I wasn't too fond of. In low light settings, it's kind of hard to see if you're just glancing down if it's mute, if your microphone's on mute or it's not. I would have preferred to see maybe like a bright orange to match this instead, to be a little easier to see. I really like the volume wheel. It's tight because this cable is about almost 2 feet in length. So for me, it ended up I was practically sitting on the cable, but because it's very tight, you're not going to have any problems where you move and suddenly the volume drops or rises suddenly. And there is a bit of a rubbery coating almost to add a little bit of grip to make it easier to use the wheel. Now, the 6.5 foot extension cable, I can't show it all to you right now. You saw it earlier in the unboxing. Plenty of room, no matter how far your tower is away from your gaming space. I have this plugged in so you guys can see the LED. Now, to install this, you just need to throw in the SteelSeries Siberia engine. Most computers should be able to install it to use this right off the bat, even without the engine, but the engine will allow you to modify the lighting and change the equalizer settings. I did all my reviewing under the balance setting. It's usually what I like to do just to find the baseline performance of the headset. However, they do offer other equalizer presets optimized for one is called Precision for, I guess, playing Counter-Strike when you're doing competitive FPSs. There's one optimized for voice in case you're on a phone call or you really need to hear what's going on in TeamSpeak. And also, it can modify how these LEDs react. Now, you definitely cannot see it, but there's actually 16 LEDs, and it's very, very even. As you can see here, you can see some bright spots with the camera. However, in person, I never actually noticed these bright spots until I had this looking through my viewfinder here. The SteelSeries engine will let you turn them off, turn them on, change the intensity of the lighting, change if it's pulsating or it's on all the time or it's being triggered by noise or whatnot. So overall, these are it's a very solid headset, excellent for long-term wear. It is on the pricier side. From SteelSeries themselves, you can get it for $119.99 US from the website. Your local retailer may have it for a little more or a little less, but compared to other stereo USB headsets, these are on the higher end of the spectrum. Well, now, I really think these are extremely comfortable for long-term wear. I could wear these for hours, and it really didn't feel like much. There are some heavier headsets where you wear them for an hour, you take them off, and you go, whoa, it's like a weight off of my shoulders kind of thing. But these, I didn't get that same feeling. Is it worth the extra $20 or $30 you may spend compared to another headset of this type? I think so. The headset mixes really good sound, very well balanced sound, and it's extremely comfortable to wear. Anyone who's putting in serious hours behind their computers and is wearing a headphone this whole time, I highly recommend the SteelSeries Siberia. Overall, I give it an 8.5 capsules out of 10. If you want to know more about the SteelSeries Siberia version 2 Heat Orange Edition, be sure to check out my review. You can just see the link on the bottom. If you like this video, give us a like. and leave a comment if you have any questions.
And here, as promised, is the audio demonstration of the SteelSeries Siberia version 2's microphone. This microphone has an active noise cancellation, which seems to be doing a pretty good job. This audio file, as a test, I have done no editing, nothing to it. This is just me recording using the microphone into my computer, and I can't seem to actually hear the computer fan right beside me. It has a tendency to be extremely noisy. Sometimes you can even hear it in one of my reviews. Uh, can't hear it with this microphone, so that is a great sign. One thing I did notice is I actually had to pull this microphone only about halfway out, just so it's not in front of my mouth, so when I make T's and P's that it won't pop because there is no pop filter. So it's just something to keep in mind. So here we have it, the test file, or the test audio for the SteelSeries Siberia version 2 microphone.